After news came out that the Invictus Games are trying to get rid of Prince Harry, there's a new update to this saga. Hazard's longtime mentor has just quit. But why? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because after news came out last week that the Invictus Games are allegedly trying to get rid of Prince Hazard, and by the way, I totally believe that, there's actually now a new update to this total saga. Hazard's longtime mentor has just quit the Invictus charity game situation. But why? Now, all snaps and claps firstly goes to Royal Thoughts at Insightful Watch for sharing this story on X. And they say the following: Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's alleged hateful and abusive treatment of others, along with their entitled attention-seeking behaviour at the events, have destroyed the reputation of the Invictus Games. Now, Edward Lane Fox quits. People are completely disgusted and fed up with Harry and Meghan. And here's the article right here from the Daily Mail. They're claiming it as an exclusive. Harry's mentor, Edward Lane Fox, quits Invictus. Now, he was said to be Prince Hazard's right-hand man, private secretary for Hazard for 5 years, involved with the Invictus Games right from the start. So why is he all of a sudden just quit? Seems very out of the blue, don't you think, right, guys? He was said to also be the only friend who could actually help Hazard reconcile with his family and return to the UK. And now Edward Lane Fox, the gentleman in question, former captain in the Household Cavalry, is now amongst those that have stepped away from Hazard and, in particular, the Invictus Games. Now, this is the thing. He's not just recently left. No. He left all the way back in February of this year. So like 6-7 months ago. And we're only learning about it now. Why is that? Now, interestingly enough, he leaves on the 28th of February, and that's the exact same day that another gentleman also left the Invictus Games, Patrick Nicol. He was a trustee. And the article goes on to say, since then, another of Hazard's closest supporters, JJ Chalmers, who was a Royal Marine reservist and Invictus Games gold medalist, has also left as well. So, in not only of a space of a year, like half a year, you've got 3 people that have left the Invictus Games, have left Hazard and the Invictus Games. They've just quit. Why is that? Because I'll tell you something, I'm not buying the official reason, if that makes sense. And so this article goes on to say, look, it brings to mind the abrupt departures from the board when it came to Centre Barley earlier on this year. And whilst Hazard and Megxie are commenting on the people that have left the Invictus Games over the last 6 months or so, you know, the Invictus source is saying that the trustees had simply moved on, as they had served their maximum term, and new financial figures reveal that the charity is in good health, with £3.8 million of income in 2024, up from £2.7 million in 2023. This is the thing, right? For those that don't know, I actually served on a board of a charity years ago now. I ended up actually being their honorary treasurer. And it is right that when you serve on a board for a charity, there is like a set term, and then that term runs out. The thing is, though, you can be re-elected for another term, and then another term after that, and then another term after that, right? So for them all just to turn around and be like, yeah, they all left because their term just came to a natural end and that was it. Yeah, I really don't buy that at all. Especially when Edward Lane Fox, the newest one that we now know has quit Invictus Games, has been with Hazard right from the start of the Invictus Games being created. he, out of all of them, would want to stay on till the end, don't you think? So what's really, really going on here? And as the article says here, yet the falling away of old friends seems significant, particularly of Edward Lane Fox. The pair was said to have been genuinely close, with Edward Lane Fox being the bridge between his new life in America and his old life in the UK. What's more, these departures come amid reports that those that are still involved in the Invictus Games essentially say that they want Hazza out at this point, right? Something that I reported on this channel over the last couple of weeks. The reason why they want him out is because they see him now as toxic. After all the attacks that he's done towards the royal family and the British public and whatnot, and his association now with Megxi, he's just as toxic and they don't want anything to do with that anymore. I don't freaking blame them. One source turning around and saying, quote, "It seems it's hard to convince people that you're philanthropic, force for good, and when there are so many unresolved issues with your own family you've accused of being racist and uncaring." And so, following Hazza's public attacks on the royal family, it does seem very, very doubtful that any members of the royal family will want to attend the next Invictus Games that's supposedly going to be happening in Birmingham in 2027. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be cancelled. Our country is in no fit state at the moment to be able to hold any kind of international games in any way, shape or form. And we certainly don't have the money for it either. That is for freaking damn certain. And so Invictus Chief Executive Rob Owen this week insisted, though, that Hazza's going nowhere. Yeah, you really believe that? So the Invictus Chief says, "We're proud to have the Duke of Sussex as a patron and founder. The spotlight he brings to the community and to our work has changed the perceptions of mental health, of military personnel, and of disability worldwide." Yeah, it hasn't done anything like that, really, in the grand scheme of things. But, you know, he can, you know, you go with your word salad. Go on. You go with your bad sen and your word salad. You have a really, really good attempt at it, right? I'm not buying it. Are you? Now, the big question here is, was the real reason as to why Hazza's longtime mentor, Edward Lane Fox, why has he quit the Invictus Games? What's the real reason? Because we know earlier on this year that the chair of Centre Barley, right here, Dr. Sophie Chandwaka, actually accused Hazza of harassment and bullying at scale. I'm just asking for a friend here, but could we see the same accusations pop up in time against Hazza for the Invictus Games? What do you guys think? With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Why do you think Hazza's longtime mentor, Edward Lane Fox, quit the Invictus Games? Do you believe the official party line, which is, well, you know, his term just came to an end. That was all. Do you really believe that? I know I don't. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so, so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.